さあ MTV ロックス今日はですね、東京ベイ NK ホールの方に来ていまして、なんとグリーンデーのメンバーと一緒に、お届けしていきたいと思います。今回ですね、また来日公演ということで非常に盛り上がっているんですけれども、彼らに会うのはフジロックのキャンセルになって以来なんですけれどもね、何気に何回も日本に来てるんで、何回目ぐらいかなと思うんですけども。So it's since Fuji Rock the last time we met. How many? But you guys have been to Japan quite a lot, right? So. How many?
Third time actually.
Third time? Yeah. Okay. So that's like after you released Insomniac, and then you came for Fuji Rock, and then now, yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. So what's your impression about Japan?
We love it here.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What makes it so special?
Good dancers.
Good dancers.
Good food.
Uh-huh.
We like the nightlife. We like to boogie.
Okay.
Lots of good toys.
Yeah. Good toys.
Good bowling.
All right. Did you bring your air guns this time?
Yes, we did.
All right.
You'll find out on the way out.
All right. How many people did you shoot so far?
We don't shoot people anymore. We just shoot.
Mostly Sam I Am, the opening band.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
The only reason we're shooting people before is because they were in shitty bands. So now there's no shitty bands around.
Okay.
Now we only shoot good bands.
Yeah. Okay. So and you released your latest album the end of last year in October. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So Nimrod, and now you're here on tour with the album, and I thought the approach was quite different from the other two albums that you released before. You did a lot of strings arrangements, horn arrangements, and that I saw credit for David Campbell, who's backstab. Yeah. How did this all happen?
We just got in our small garage and wrote a lot of songs. You know. Same thing we always do. Only difference is we just wrote a lot more songs, and really, you know, Billy wasn't limiting his songwriting, and none of us were limiting any ideas we had in our heads for anything. You know, they're written to be, you know, simple, good rock and roll, punk rock and roll songs, and if it's appropriate, put it there. You know.
Well, so what about the strings arrangement, and how did you? How'd this happen that you guys started working with David Campbell?
Thought we'd go right to the source.
Yeah. Rob Cavallo had worked with him in the past, our producer, and he suggested him, and we said, yeah, sure. So, I don't know, could have been anybody really, but he ended up being great, and good experience.
Okay. Yeah, even though you had some different sound approaches, you still have the same producer.
It's interesting to see like like a full orchestra playing like your crappy song, you know. So it's pretty cool.
Well, yeah. So, but you still have the same producer since Dookie, and so how did you actually in the beginning start working with him? How did this happen?
With Rob?
Yeah.
We met him through people of our past, and we ended up working with him.
He knew a lot. He knew a lot of the technical aspects of the studio, and we thought, boy, we could really teach this guy a lot.
Okay.
And he's learned a lot, and so we keep him around.
All right. Yeah.
He's a great guitar tuner.
Oh yeah. So is he here in Japan with you guys?
No.
No. Okay. Okay. And then a little bit back to David Campbell. He did most strings arrangements and horn arrangements, but did you guys first think like?
He didn't do horn arrangements.
No. Strings arrangement.
That's Gabe and Steve did that.
Gabe and Steve from No Doubt.
No Doubt. They improvised. They came in for one day and a night, and we just said, "You're in the band. Go."
All right. Okay. So I was wondering. So did you have this idea when you wrote the songs already? Did you like hear the strings going or horns going?
You can hear it. I mean, if it's appropriate or meant to be there, you can hear it. You can try anything you want. The thing is, you just, if it sucks, it doesn't go on the record, and if it rocks, it makes the record.
You guys are well known for like trying to keep the ticket prices low as possible, so the kids can come more easily.
We just put out a price that we think that we're worth, we're worth seeing, and I mean, it could change in the future. We don't really know. It's just depending on where we're at that time, and so who knows. We don't really pay attention to it as much as people think that we do.
Did you ever have like an experience like you wanted to go to a show but you really didn't have the money to go like that when you were a kid yourself?
No, because if I wanted to go to the show and it cost a lot of money, if it meant enough to me, I made it happen.
All right.
And I think that's how big shows get filled. If it means enough to you, you make it happen.
Right.
You know, and I think, yeah, it's great. I mean, well, there's one kid, I met a kid on tour, and he was like, man, you know, it cost $15 to see you this time, you know, and I saw you for $5 4 times before. What's going on? And I said, well, don't you think you got enough of a deal?
Yeah.
It's about time you pay me back.
Okay. Yeah.
funny, so.
Your popularity in Japan is really increasing. Really, it's growing,
People
growing.
are
Yeah.
really great to us.
Yeah. You got a lot of big fans out there. So.
You know, try and return it by coming back and playing good shows.
Yeah, we'd like to come back for this record.
All right.
Yeah.
And so you guys basically do only standing places, like no seated chair.
No,
anything
except
like that,
for
right?
in the back.
No.
You know,
Yeah, in the back, yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah, we're afraid the chairs will all land on the stage.
we're not a type of band where people sit down.
No.
You know.
Would you feel uncomfortable if everybody was sitting in a chair?
I think the audience would feel uncomfortable, and I think
Yes.
they'd end up ripping the seats out.
Actually, it's happened before in the past. When we were on the Lollapalooza tour, that they were amphitheaters, and so they were seated, and people were handing out rows of 12 chairs connected together. You know, like whole rows of chairs were being handed over the top of the crowd. They had been ripped out. Very
It's
cool.
like when you come to a Green Day show, it's like you gotta set all the rigid boundaries of your life aside and just have fun. And we don't think that having a small numbered seat where you exist for a certain amount of time is much freedom. You know,
Leave your sausage at the door.
definitely.
So you guys having a good time in Japan right now? There's you know the amusement. You have Disneyland right here.
Yeah.
Next to the place.
Yeah.
We got 2 of those.
We're too busy. We're not allowed to go to Disneyland yet.
Not yet. You think you might?
I'm
get some
afraid of
time?
Mickey Mouse anyway.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he freaks
What-
me out.
What makes you freak you out?
I don't know,
what
man.
makes
It's the voice.
the voice
I don't
of Mickey?
Or
Yeah,
his-
the high tone.
Well,
Hi. Okay.
It's the ears, man. I don't know. It's the way he looks at me.
Last year, unfortunately, the second day of Fuji Rock was canceled. You guys weren't able, but you took your time and gave us some. You took some time to let me interview you guys, and that was very kind of you.
Oh, cool.
But I hear rumors it might happen this year too, Fuji Rock. Do you think you guys might be able to come over, do it?
We'd love to come.
Yeah, I'd love to come back
do
and
it.
play it. Yeah, it was disappointing for everybody, and you know, a lot of people got really sick and stuff at the show. What can I say? I mean, we were really glad that we got to play a small show the night before for 300 people.
Yeah.
That made the point. I mean, made the show. I mean, made the trip just a little more successful for that reason. But I mean, it was a downer for everybody. You know.
Okay. I think it's a good opportunity. Like Japanese bands get to perform with bands like you guys, which usually doesn't happen too often. And are you familiar with the Japanese music scene, kind of?
High Standard.
Yeah.
You know, we played with them our last tour we were out here.
Yeah, we don't get to see a lot of Japanese bands while we're out here.
Yeah.
And you know it.
We're really busy all the time. It's hard to see. It's hard for us to see American bands when we're in the States. You know.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
Do you have like any image of like Japanese bands? What the kind of scene, Japanese music scene is going?
The Roosters, man.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it's very rock and roll based. I mean,
Totally.
I think we were discussing it yesterday, and Billy brought up the fact that punk rock has probably always been popular in Japan, and it seems to have always been understood here. And I just think that I don't know what direction music is going here, but I think rock and roll is here to stay. To be cliche, you know.
Yeah. Well, you just mentioned High Standard. Like they go to the States also to perform on their own. What do you think about do you think there's any chance for like a Japanese band like High Standard to make its way somehow in the States?
I think they're already making their way in the States pretty
Yeah.
well. A lot of people know who they are and seem to like them pretty good. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, anything's possible. I mean,
How do you guys put the music together? Basically, you just jam like 5 days a week, 7 days a week, and get
3
together.
to 5
and-
days a
yeah.
week, you know. We
8
just
days a week.
we're pretty diligent about practicing, you know, and playing. And I mean, just playing together. We like to do what we do, and we don't really take breaks.
Right.
You know, we kind of work hard to do, you know, to play good
Mike.
music and write good tunes. But
Dicks balls.
but we enjoy what we do. So
Well, when was the first time that you actually thought of picking up some instruments and doing some rock music like that?
My whole life.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So.
I came out of my mama and I went,
So you were heavy metal at that time?
I went,
you came out of my mama and said, everyone.
All right. Yeah.
I said, "Oh,
In,
time to
on,
go."
or around Trey's mama.
What kind of artists were your favorite musicians at that time?
oh, when I was a little kid,
Yeah.
Fisher Price.
AC/DC,
AC/DC.
you know, Van Halen. When I was a little kid, you know.
What do you think about the new Van Halen?
I don't.
Okay.
I haven't thought about them in years.
All right. Yeah.
I haven't thought about them since Diamond Dave left.
And about the lyrics, on what kind of situation do you like take memos sometimes, or just?
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, it's all sort of journal, personal sort of standpoint on everything I write. So, yeah. Just,
Because Japanese audience go through lyrics a lot, and yeah, I think everybody that's at the place tonight, they must know like most songs that they're going to be singing along all night. Yeah.
yeah, it's great. You know, a lot of people, you know, learn different languages through music. You know, and that's great. That just shows you how much like how universal music can be,
Yeah.
opposed to math or something. You know?
How's it in the States right now with the scene, and what kind of direction you think the scene's heading towards, and
Who
what's your
cares
position?
what we
What
hear?
scene?
Fuck the United States.
The only scene we care about is Nimrod taking over the world.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know,
we don't
An
really know.
obscene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you just do your thing, and
Yeah, you know, we're not really concerned about any subculture or any, you know, radio culture or anything. I don't even listen to the radio unless I'm listening to like college radio.
It's hard for me to listen to mainstream radio when everybody calls himself alternative. I find it hard to take anything seriously that isn't punk rock.
Right.
You know, and when people you know, like calling themselves like alternative rock, or you know, like Bush or Smashing Pumpkins or something like that, I think to be deeply rooted into any kind of alternative, it has to be punk rock, because nothing else exists outside of that, as far as I'm concerned.
And I think you guys did, maybe you guys didn't really mean to do anything, but I mean, that you guys appeared in the scene was a really big meaning for the scene to like get the punk rock.
Yeah, there was a
coming
lot of
back
other bands
yeah.
that sounded like us that were around,
Yeah, but I mean.
and now there's us.
Yeah, but still, I mean.
I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of other bands. I don't since Dookie got big or whatever. You know, we're on our third really good record since then. I don't like to think that I don't like to limit myself. You know, in thinking that we're stuck in 1994 or 93. You know, we're concerned about writing good tunes
Right.
before we put any sort of punk rock, you know, facade in front of ourselves or anything, or punk rock lifestyle. You know, that's inside of us. What comes out of us is music that's been filtered through us.
Yeah.
And
Listening
it's
to
good
Nimrod,
music.
yeah. What I thought was like the best thing about well, but listening to Nimrod, I thought the best thing about you guys is just you guys just write good music, good songs, and there's no limit, no rule. Really, the way you do it, you put some strings in if you hear it.
Well,
and, yeah,
that's. I
and-
mean, what's more punk rock than
Right.
putting strings on a punk rock record?
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Exactly. If you have something to say, maybe to the people that didn't make it tonight here.
You had your chance and you wet your pants.
See you next time. We're coming back.
We'll be
That's
back.
right.
All
And
right.
just,
We'll be back, and yeah, thanks for
thanks for
picking up
listening
the
to our
record
music.
and everything. We worked hard on it for you, and damn it, it's yours.
Okay. Thank you so much for taking your time.
Uh-huh.
And
Thank
okay.
you, my man.
Thanks.
Hot dog.
Yeah.
Macaroni.